Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today into something that's really shaking up the world of software, AI in SaaS. And I know what you might be thinking, oh great, another episode about apps getting a little bit smarter. But trust me, this is different. This isn't just about your calendar app learning to schedule meetings a little better. This is a total game changer. It's like, you know how right now using software can sometimes feel like using one of those self-service kiosks at the airport. Functional, gets the job done, but a little impersonal. What we're talking about today is like having a brilliant, super efficient assistant built into every single piece of software you use. And one of the things that really jumped out to me from the research is this idea of intelligent agents. So not just like basic automation here, but actual agents becoming like a central part of how SaaS works.
Yeah, and you know what's really fascinating about these agents? It's how they're using these things called foundational models.
Okay, foundational models. Break that down for me.
Basically, imagine, instead of training an AI on a specific set of data, like you would with traditional software, you're training it on practically the entire internet.
Whoa.
It's like giving it access to this massive library of information.
Yeah.
And that allows these models to like see these patterns and make connections that we could never even dream of.
So it's not just pre-programmed logic, it's actually constantly learning and evolving, huh?
Yeah, constantly improving. It's kind of wild, actually.
So less manual data entry for us, which is always a plus in my book. But for folks out there listening who aren't, software engineers, what's the real game changer here? What's the big aha moment that we should all be excited about?
Okay, so imagine this. Software that not only like does what you tell it to,
Yeah.
but actually optimizes everything in real time based on just mountains and mountains of data.
Okay.
Like let's say you're using a marketing automation platform. Instead of just sending emails on a schedule, this thing is learning from every single open, every click, every interaction. And it's automatically personalizing content, suggesting new strategies. It might even predict the absolute best time to send an email to a particular person to get the highest chance of engagement.
Wow.
Or think about customer support that doesn't just answer your questions, but actually anticipates issues before they even become problems.
That's incredible. So instead of us just having tools, SaaS is becoming more like this, I don't know, like a strategic partner almost.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. And, speaking of strategic partners, one thing we saw in the research was this trend toward more, and I think the term they used was verticalized solutions. What exactly does that mean? Like, are we saying goodbye to these giant one-size-fits-all software suites? It's a good question. And just to clarify, verticalized just means software that's specifically designed for a particular industry, like healthcare or finance, really anything you can imagine. And it makes sense if you think about it. What a hospital needs is going to be way different than what a restaurant needs, right?
Right, makes total sense.
And those big software platforms, they're not going away completely.
Yeah.
But because of AI, we're going to see this huge explosion of these niche solutions, these highly specialized tools.
Oh, I see.
Think of it like going to see a general practitioner versus seeing a specialist who's an expert in exactly what you need.
Okay, that's a great analogy. So instead of like a generic CRM for any business, you might have one specifically built for, say, healthcare startups or, I don't know, independent bookstores.
Precisely. And this is all possible because of how AI is being combined with tons and tons of industry-specific data. Interesting. And, this move toward more specialized solutions, it actually kind of reminds me of something else that our sources touched on. The whole idea of conversational models becoming a big deal in SaaS. Is this just a fancy way of saying better chatbots, or is there something more to it?
It's way more than just better chatbots, I think. This is about fundamentally changing how we interact with software.
Really?
Yeah. Instead of menus and buttons and drop-down lists,
Right.
we're talking about a future where you just talk to your software.
Just talk to it.
You explain a task or a goal, like you're talking to a colleague, and the software just understands and executes flawlessly.
So no more hunting for the right button or trying to decipher some cryptic error message.
Exactly. And one of the experts even suggested that this could completely level the playing field.
What do you mean?
You can make tech accessible to anyone, regardless of their technical skills.
Wow, so you're saying you might not need a computer science degree to use powerful software anymore?
I think it has the potential to be incredibly democratizing, yeah. Imagine entrepreneurs, artists, really anyone with a great idea being able to harness these sophisticated tools that were once only available to, big corporations or tech geniuses.
That would be amazing. And to bring all of this to life a bit, let's look at a specific example that our research highlighted. There's this company called Dialog, which is a CRM platform built specifically for sales teams, particularly in healthcare.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Dialogue is how well it integrates these AI agents right into the workflow.
Okay, and how does that work?
So imagine salespeople can automate all those administrative tasks that take up so much time. Logging calls, updating records, generating reports, all by just having a conversation with the software.
So it's like having a super efficient assistant who never takes a break.
Exactly.
And, the research even mentioned a stat, something like a 90% reduction in time spent on these repetitive administrative tasks.
90%. Think about that. Imagine what you could do with 90% of your day back.
Seriously.
It's huge. That's the potential that these AI tools unlock.
Yeah.
They free us up as humans to focus on strategy and creativity and building relationships.
And those are the things that are actually valuable. Those are the things you can't automate, right?
Exactly.
It's amazing to think about how much all of this could change the way we work in the next few years. It's not just about, making our apps a bit smarter. It's about fundamentally changing how we approach work, how we solve problems, maybe even how entire industries operate. So as you go about your day today, here's a final, I think, thought-provoking question to consider. If software is becoming this intuitive and specialized, this easy to use, what skills are actually going to matter most in the workplace of the future? What do you need to thrive? Keep exploring these questions, keep learning, and we'll catch you in our next deep dive.